Shrimadbhagavatam ki Hare Krishna. Welcome to the Shrimadbhagavatam reading. Today we are reading from Canto 1, Chapter 9, the passing away of Bhishmadeva in the realms of Lord Krishna, text 44. Start with invocation prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Narayanam Namaskrityam. Narayanam Namaskrityam. Naram Chaiva Narottamam. Naram Chaiva Narottamam. Devim Saraswatim Vyasam. Devim Saraswatim Vyasam. Tato Jayamudire. Tato Jayamudire. Nashtaprayashu abhadreshu. Nashtaprayashu abhadreshu. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Uttama Shloke. Bhagavati Uttama Shloke. Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Krishnaya Vasudevaya. Krishnaya Vasudevaya. Devaki Nandanaya cha. Devaki Nandanaya cha. Nandagopal Kumaraya. Nandagopalaya. Govindaya Namo Namaha. Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. Reading from Shrimadbhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 9, the passing away of Bhishmadeva in the presence of Lord Krishna, text 44. Sampadyamanam Ajnaya Sampadyamanam Ajnaya Bhishmam Brahmani Nishkale Bhishmam Brahmani Nishkale Sarve Bhagava Bhavus Tetusinam Sarve Bhavus Tetusinim Vayam Shiva Dinatyaye Vayam Shiva Dinatyaye. Anyone would like to try?
Sampadyamanam Ajnaya Bhishmam Brahmani Niskale
Bhishmam Brahmani Nishkale
Sarve Bhavuste Tushnim
Sarve Bhavuste Tusnim
Vayam Shiva Dinatyaye
Vayam Shiva Dinatyaye.
Sampadyamanam Ajnaya
Bhishmam Brahmani Niskale
Bhishmam Brahmani Nishkale
Sarve Bhavaste Tushnim
Sarve Bhavuste Tusnim
Vayam Shiva Dinatyaye.
Vayam Shiva Dinatyaye. Go word by word. Sampadyamanam,
Sampadyamanam
having merged into
having merged into
Ajnaya,
Ajnaya.
after knowing this,
After knowing this,
Bhishmam,
Vishma
about Sri Bhishmadeva,
about Shri Vishmadeva
Brahmani,
Brahmani
into the Supreme Absolute,
into the Supreme Absolute,
Nishkale,
Nishkale,
unlimited,
unlimited,
Sarve,
Sarve,
all present,
all present,
Babhute,
Bhavute
all of them became,
all of them became
Tusnim,
Tusnim,
silent,
silent,
Vayamsi Iva,
Vayam Shiva,
like birds,
like birds,
Dina Atyaye,
Dina Atyaye,
at the end of the day.
the end of the day.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Aveshanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Knowing that Bhishmadeva had merged into the unlimited eternity of the Supreme Absolute, all present there became silent like birds at the end of the day. Please repeat. Knowing that Bhishmadeva had merged into
Vishmadeva had merged into
the unlimited eternity of the Supreme Absolute.
the unlimited eternity of the Supreme Absolute.
All present there
All present there
became silent
became silent,
like birds
like birds
at the end of the day.
at the end of the day.
To enter into or to become merged into unlimited. We are in to enter into or to become merged into the unlimited eternity of the Supreme Absolute means to enter the original home of living being. The living beings are all competent parts and parcels of the Absolute Personality of Godhead, and therefore they are eternally related with Him. As the servitor and the served, the Lord is served by all His parts and parcels, as the complete machine is served by its parts and parcels. Any part of the machine removed from the whole is no longer important. Similarly, any part and parcel of the Absolute detached from the service of Lord is useless. The living beings who are in the material world are all disintegrated parts and parcels of the Supreme Whole, and they are no longer as important as the original parts and parcels. There are, however, more integrated living beings who are eternally liberated. The material energy of the Lord, called Durga Shakti or Superintendent of Prison House, takes charge of the disintegrated parts and parcels, and thus they undergo a conditioned life under the laws of material nature. When the living being becomes conscious of this fact, he tries to go back home, back to Godhead. And thus, the spiritual urge of living being begins. This spiritual urge is called Brahma Jignasa or inquiry about Brahman. Principally, this Brahma Jignasa is successful by knowledge, renunciation and devotional service to the Lord. Jnana or knowledge means knowledge of everything of Brahman, the Supreme. Renunciation means detachment of material affection, and devotional service is the revival of practice of the original position of living being. The successful living beings who are eligible to enter into the realm of Absolute are called Jnanis, the Yogis and the Bhaktas. The Jnanis and Yogis enter into the impersonal race of the Supreme, but the Bhaktas enter into the spiritual planets known as Vaikunthas. In these spiritual planets, the Supreme Lord as Narayana predominates, and healthy, unconditioned living beings live there by rendering loving service to the Lord in the capacity of servant, friend, parents and fiancé. There, the unconditioned living beings enjoy life in full freedom with the Lord, whereas the impersonalists, Jnanis and Yogis enter into the impersonal glowing effulgence of Vaikuntha planets. The Vaikuntha planets are all self-illuminating like the sun, and the rays of Vaikuntha planets are called the Brahma Jyoti. The Brahma Jyoti is spread unlimitedly, and the material world is but a covered portion of an insignificant part of the same Brahma Jyoti. This covering is temporary, and therefore it is a sort of illusion. Bhishma Deva, as a pure devotee of the Lord, entered the spiritual realm in one of the Vaikuntha planets, where the Lord in his eternal form of Parthasarathi predominates over the unconditioned living beings who are constantly engaged in the service of the Lord. The love and affection which bind the Lord and the devotee are exhibited in the case of Bhishma Deva. Bhishma Deva never forgot the Lord in his transcendental feature as Parthasarathi, and the Lord was present personally before Bhishma Deva while he was passing to the transcendental world. That is the highest perfection of life. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsta Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijanasaitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitam Sa He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Priyasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Prasarine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desadarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Welcome to Shrimadbhagavatam. Today we are reading from Canto 1, Chapter 9, Text 44. I'll go through translation once again. Knowing that Vishwadeva had merged into the unlimited eternity of the Supreme Absolute, all present there became silent like birds at the end of the day. So yesterday we have seen how at the last moment Vishwadeva, the Sukadeva Goswami said, thus Vishwadeva merged himself in the Super Soul, Lord Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, with his mind, speech, sight and actions, and thus he became silent and his breathing stopped. Yesterday we have seen this in the text 43 and also the importance of 9 process of devotional service starting from Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam and Atmanivedanam. So, how important is the practicing of those processes and be situated in a ecstatic transcendental state as Vishwadeva? It's possible for everyone if we try to remember Krishna at every moment of our life. That comes through a rigorous practice and a lot of energy would be put into the spiritual path. So today we are going to see like after Vishwadeva has merged into the Supreme Absolute, all the saintly persons, kings, Pandavas and all the other persons who are present there became silent like birds at the end of the day. So today we are going to see 3 main sections like parts and parcels, our eternal identity and connection. The next one is true liberation, relationship above relief. Third one is Bhishma's perfect exit strategy, preparing our consciousness. So starting with the icebreaker. So if you encounter like death today, like what could be your heart running toward first? Like what would be your first thoughts? Either on Krishna or something that is been exacting in this world for you, that is most attractive for you, or you are more attached to it. We should try to think of Krishna at every moment because we don't know at what moment we may encounter our last moments. So, yeah, that's the scenario. And yeah, starting with the first thing, parts and parcels, our eternal identity. So, even in the purport, it is stated that we all know what is our eternal position. Our true constitutional position is eternal servitor of the Supreme Lord. And see, I would like to quote an analogy. If you take a big machinery in a huge factory and a small bolt or a nut, what is the significance of that nut, if it is not like if it is detached from that whole machinery, it doesn't have that significance. But if it is attached to it, then the functionality of that machine depends. I mean, it gets used in that functionality, the nut. So similarly, we as the tiny part and parcel of Supreme, if we are engaged in His service, if we are reaching our eternal constitutional position, then we become like we achieve our true position and true significance of our life. So we are component parts of Supreme Lord. When we disintegrated from His service, we become insignificant or useless, and we suffer from material sufferings like condition. We go on through conditioned life, which is full of miseries and sufferings. So we all know who will supervise this material world, this Durga Shakti, is Mayavi. So she supervises all the conditioned souls. When you render your service to Krishna, when you are sincere in your endeavors to lead a spiritual path, she even supports you. She even makes the path easy for you. But if you are slightly distracted for a few moments or few times, then she tries to capture you and try to influence you by the modes of material nature or material sufferings. So our spiritual life begins when we start asking, like, who am I? Why am I here? So it's stated, Atato Brahma Jignasa. So we have to inquire. So what is the true purpose of my life? Who am I? Why am I here? Why am I suffering in this material world? What is the cause of my suffering? And how to get out of this material world? What is the solution? So if we try to inquire, and also it is important now, whom to inquire, what is the right source, who is the right person, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Evam parampara praptam imam pradarsayo viduhu. So saintly kings have understood in this way, who are coming from parampara, the bona fide disciplic succession of gurus, not taking any mundane advice from any other scholars in this modern society, because there are many mundane scholars. Today I was reading the Krishna book, in that I was just going through chapter like description of autumn, and we see in the rainy season how we find glowworms. So similarly, in this current world, whoever do not know actual Vedas and scriptures, who don't follow Vedas and scriptures, they are being popular now as the glowworms. But the true persons who the sun, moon, and similar to them, who follow Vedic scriptures like gurus and parampara, they were not being they were not having many followers, and they were not many people are being following their principles and not taking their advices and not taking their process seriously, and which leads if you follow, we may have the good and better way of understanding, and all other karmis, all other people, mystics, it goes on. But yeah, even if you get a slightest relief, but problem after problem, you will have to encounter it, and you have to find solution one after the other. So what you have to find, what are the actual problems of my life? What are the true problems? Birth, death, disease, old age. These are the real problems of the material world, and how to get out of this birth-death cycle. So we have to understand who we are, and when we understand our true position, we try to engage ourselves in that position and in the service of Supreme Lord. So practical applications, whenever you go out, encounter some group of people, like if someone asks you, who are you and where are you from, you may say like, I'm so and so, I'm so and so data engineer, I'm so and so this person, I'm so and so, I'm coming from this place, that place. So actually who we are Krishna's servant playing a temporary role in this world, just for a short period of time. Like we are taking care of this body, it's just given for us for a short period of time. So like by regularly chanting and improving in our sadhana, it gives the spiritual charge for us, and it enriches our journey further and further into the spiritual progress. So sadhu sangha keeps us aligned with original purpose. So I would like to quote an analogy over here. Like you take a very good, like very latest brand, that iPhone, which is worth $1,000 to $1,200, but until and unless if you charge it, what is the use of it? And so it's just a useless piece of metal. So we are similar to that. When we take the bhakti, like our charge, spiritual charge, it spiritualizes our material body as well. So we have to realize like how important is the bhakti and how to take up that process seriously and how consistently we have to do our sadhana. Even in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna mentions Malayamamso Divaloke Devabhuta Sanatana. So we are his parts and parcels. And also in coming cantos we will see how Gajendra, elephant, king of elephants, prayed to the Lord and he got instantly rescued from the crocodile from the Lord. Like Lord immediately appeared before Gajendra. And Dhruva Maharaj, who regained identity beyond material ambitions. Because when Lord present before him, he was just saying, "Oh Lord, I was just like aspiring for a broken glass, but I found a diamond in return. So what could be the return of it?" So that's the key section. So the next, moving on to next one is true liberation, relationship over relief. So in the content we have seen the path of jnanis and yogis who merge into the impersonal Brahman, who meditate upon the impersonal effulgence of the spiritual planets, and in that impersonal effulgence only this material world is an insignificant part. And we all know like how devotees, bhaktas enter Vaikuntha planet, there where they may have personal relationship with Krishna as a friend, as a parent, as a servant, whatever it might be. It's a unique relationship with the Lord, and there they are very happy in their service to the Lord. So love of God is eternal, should be our eternal service. As we all know, there are 4 types of rasas: dasya rasa, sakya rasa, vatsalya rasa, madhurya rasa. This hasya means servant attitude, sakya means friendship, vatsalya parental love, and madhurya conjugal love. So we don't want just freedom from suffering, but we want a person to love, and a love that never ends. Imagine if you love something or someone which is everlasting, which has no end, and which is permanent. So how fantastic it is! Like, because in this current material world or modern society, if we try to develop love on something or someone, it's a temporary. Even if a thing, how much time it lasts, or over a certain time of years, or a certain period of years, or on someone, do you guarantee that they live eternally with you? No. They have a short period. As you are also temporary, they are also temporary. this material world itself is temporary. So, what to speak of their life guarantee and your life guarantee? So, we just have to develop a love on Supreme Personality of Godhead. We all know He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's the Creator and He's the ultimate proprietor of this entire creation. So if we try to develop the love towards Him, that is like everlasting. That has no end. And that reciprocation you won't get from anyone of this. Even if you try to combine from all the sources of your love also, there won't be not even a 0.1 match of the love that is being reciprocated from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, relationships define real life, not just relief, but reciprocation of the love and affection. So, one real analogy is like the sun versus sunshine. Sunshine gives warmth, but if I love someone, I don't want their light, I want them. So similarly, if you try to meditate on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, you don't aspire, like devotees don't aspire for the impersonal, like effulgence, brightness, effulgence, but they want the service of Krishna, they want to please Krishna personally. Similarly, bhaktas want Krishna, not just his effulgence, as yogis and jnanis meditate upon the Brahma Jyoti, impersonal effulgence. Even in like Prahlad Maharaj, see the further coming canto in 7, Prahlad refused liberation. He wanted only his servants. When Lord Narasimhadeva asked him a boon to Prahlad Maharaj, he says, he actually refuses to ask initially, but after several times, like initiating by Narasimhadev, he asks like to forgive his father first. Then he says, Prahlad, I already forgave your father and I am not touching any one of your 14 generations in your family. And like beyond this, ask anything. He says like, Lord, I just want a boon so that I will not ask any boon from you. I just want your service and devotion from you. That's it. So how much sincere and how much faithful he is at that age of 5. So he's a great devotee. He's a pure devotee. Yeah. And even in the case of Ajamila, he delivered to Vaikuntha because even though he called out his younger son name at the end of stage, but we all know how merciful is Lord Vishnu and Lord Narayana. He immediately sent Vishnu Dutas over there, and over a long time of over a long 1,000 years, I guess, celestial years, the discussion happened between Yamadutas and Vishnu Dutas. Finally, Vishnu Dutas had won the discussion, and they have given Ajamila a second chance to purify himself, and then he went back to Godhead Vaikuntha. So, even in Bhagavad Gita in 8th chapter, 21st text, it is mentioned Vaikuntha is a personal, eternal dream of Krishna. Then comes Bhishma's perfect exit strategy. So, Bhishma Deva, we all know how he is such a pure devotee, and how in his last stages of his life, like before leaving the body, how sincerely he is meditating upon Lord, who is personally present before him by his sight, speech, actions, and completely engaging all his body and mind. Like yesterday we have seen the term Nirvikalpa Samadhi, completely engaging in the trance, like meditation on the Krishna, and he reached the Vaikuntha planet, and he was meditating on the form during the battlefield, the Parthasarathi form. Even Arjuna could not see that form because he was just seeing the back of Krishna. But Bhishmadeva had got that chance as he was fighting in the opposite side. The Parthasarathi form, the Parthasarathi Krishna dominates lovingly and he reciprocated to Bhishma Deva accordingly. Bhishma Deva never forget that form and that loyal love shown by Lord Krishna to them. Krishna stayed till his last breath. So this shows how successful and how pure Bhishma Deva is in his devotion and all his responsibilities in this world. So even at that last stage itself, like Krishna wanted him to be glorified, so he puts forward he sends Yudhishthira Maharaj to Bhishma Deva, and Bhishma Deva instructs Yudhishthira Maharaj how to rule the kingdom and how to be in this situation and that, how to deal in that situations, and all the practical examples, all the current society, how to apply those all. So yeah. So one real analogy is, I would like to quote is, so Google in what we all use the Google search. So what you search regularly appears first. So similarly, it feeds our data. So if you try to search about Krishna or something about his pastimes or something, you will get all the feed accordingly. Even the YouTube follows the same recommendation. Whatever the videos you see, it follows the same algorithm. So it gives the same or similar kind of content to you. So if similarly, what we think of regularly, we'll try to remember it our end, at the end stages of our death. So even in Bhagavad Gita in chapter 8, Krishna mentions remembrance guarantees destination, and also Maharaj Katvanga achieved perfection in one moment, as we're going to see in this further cantos. And Ajamila, the last moment transformation, he chanting inoffensively the holy name Narayana, rescued him from the greatest death. He have committed so many sins. Even though he's a Brahmin, he committed so many sins. So that's the reason Yamadutas have come forward to take him. But still, that merciful is the Lord. He sent the Vishnudutas to protect him and to get back to Godhead, the spiritual planet Vaikuntha. So yeah, the silence of assembly is an acknowledgement of Bhishma Deva's victory. And also in our current day-to-day society also, whenever someone in the society, in your groups or someone you know by, if you attend their final ceremony, we observe silence for a few minutes, we observe kind of due regards to them, and we pray for them to be eternally situating in their eternal servitor position. So whatever they may have done in the so-called but at the time of after they leave, we all have due respect to them and we follow that etiquette of following silence. So here all the saintly persons, all the Pandavas and all the great yogis, Narad Muni and all the great personalities, they observe their silence just to regards to Bhishma Deva's victory. They are respecting him a lot, how powerful he is, how pure devotee he is. Then Bhishma Deva returned to his personal, eternal, loving service to Krishna. So one lesson to remember is like remembering Krishna, die with Krishna, live eternally with Krishna. So here Bhishma Deva had very great fortune, he had a boon that at any time he may incur death, his own wish, but we do not have that fortune. And the one more fortunate he is having is the Supreme Lord himself present in his original form over him, at the last years of his death. So how sincere he is in his endeavors, and also he following all the dharma that he is bound by, and he even at that stages of death he is just trying to transform the knowledge, like transfer the knowledge to Yudhishthira Maharaj in uplifting, like in upholding the dignity of that kingdom. And we all know how Yudhishthira Maharaj is a righteous person, but still Bhishma Deva had made his mind so clear that he should not be aggrieved of anything, because he was very much disappointed by seeing all of the soldiers who lost their lives in the Kurukshetra war. But Bhishma Deva, Krishna's plan is let Bhishma Deva enlighten Yudhishthira Maharaj about his duties as a Kshatriya. And Bhishma Deva teaches us not just how to die, but how to live with priority, purpose and devotion. So what like priority, like we may have a lot of priorities in our day-to-day life, like we have to do work, we have to study, we have to engage in household activities, we have to do that, we have to take care of children, we have to do that, this. But you being present over here, who are you? If you try to know that you are the soul, you are the part and parcel of Supreme, so you have come over this planet for a short period of time, and this world is not permanent place to reside, and this is not an ideal place to be residing for years and years. Then what you will do? You will certainly follow like what are the required steps, daily chanting, daily associating, trying to associate with devotees whenever possible, and associating with gurus in the form of scriptures. Their words are and instructions are enlivened in the scriptures. So reading the scriptures daily, getting their association in the form of scriptures. So it enlightens us, and it should be a priority for us in our day-to-day life. Our sadhana is also very important. Yeah, we may have many responsibilities, but the sadhana is also a responsibility of our main responsibility of us, and that's why many like Srila Prabhupada designed morning program, which is very important and gives a good start to the day. So some of the key takeaways from today's text is identity. We are eternal servants, not just bodies, jobs or some social roles, but we are eternal servants of the Supreme Lord. We have to try to acquire, like try to regain that position, and in that position only like we'll be happy, and like we'll be in a right path. Even though we are like, we all know like how a bolt when it got detached, what is the use of that bolt? No one cares of it. But if something like if it gets attached to that machinery, then it's all its purpose has been served. The bolt purpose has been served. So our goal should be we have to revoke our relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, not just relief from this material world. And Vishwadeva's strategy, like constant remembrance of Supreme Lord, and this shows how Vishwadeva had perfectly left his body, the departure from this material world. So bhakti means preparing for the moment that matters the most. What is that moment that matters the most for us? Like apart from departing from this material world, the death moment. So every day at every moment we strive to be more and more engaging in Krishna consciousness. We have to try to remember Krishna in whatever activity you do. Like you may have various other responsibilities and various other tasks, but try to remember Krishna. Like even if you are drinking the water, yeah, you can think of Krishna. Like see the same water when you drink while you are thirsty and while you are in normal. In that thirsty condition, you will feel that taste of water. But in your normal state, you don't feel that like water. So when you like try to chant and try to remember Krishna, you are true taste will like develop, and when you take the sacred offerings and Mahaprasad and take like Charnamrit, it sanctifies our body and it also purifies our heart. So, yeah, I would like to conclude today's topic. Yeah, so it's an amazing text today. So we understand today how we are eternally parts and parcels of Krishna, and we have seen how Brahma Jignasa, Tato Brahma Jignasa, how to inquire, like we have to inquire from whom we have to inquire, and we have also seen the path of bhaktas, yogis, jnanis. So how where it would lead to bhaktas, and bhaktas we all know devotees. they don't aspire for any liberation or something, but they just want the eternal, continuous, constant service of wherever they are. If they are engaged in the service of Supreme Lord, and if they are engaged in constant remembrance of Krishna, they feel like they are in spiritual planet itself. So that doesn't matter. So in spiritual world, it's like there is no other thought, there is no other work, there is no other thing except service of Krishna and pleasing Krishna. And also one thing I have heard in the lecture is, in the spiritual world, suppose if we see in the current world, if we like try to do some service or try to do some seva, like you may find some encouragement in some spots, but not in all the areas you may find encouragement, and you may be pushed forward to do such service. But in spiritual world, whoever wants to come there, they want to serve the people, the souls which are present there. They push forward you to serve instead of they thinking themselves, but they allow other souls to render service to Krishna. They are very selfless in their unconditioned state. So, and also we have seen the Brahma Jyoti, how this impersonal effulgence, from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and how is this material world is also insignificant part, and how Bhishma Deva has meditated on the form of Parthasarathi, form of Krishna. So, Hare Krishna. Thank you. Any questions, comments, discussion?
Yeah, I do have a question. Does working on the temple, does that qualify as service work as well?
Yes. Any service, anything that you rendered to in the service of Krishna. See, not only worshipping in the altar or anything, any cleaning, any small activity that you do to please Krishna, because you know how significant is that work, how by doing that work you may try to attract new people, like many devotees. It may give more attraction to that place. It may even attract more and more people. It may even tries to raise the standards of that so-called institution or so-called place. And then you are trying to please Krishna only by that. So any little service also, Krishna takes that, and Srimati Radharani, obviously she observes all of us, and she's too merciful. If she recommends to Krishna, no one can stop. Because, anything. There is no anything that you try to please Krishna. It's obvious that's the service of Krishna. That any service in temple, any service, even outside temple, if you try to preach to if you try to distribute prasad, distribute books, distribute chanting reads, and if you try to even enlighten your friends,
Right.
try to encourage them to get into temple for events or get them into service, that is also you are trying to engage the people in the service of Lord, right? That is also a great thing. That is also service. And Krishna even says whoever preaches this to others, they are most dear to me. So, what?
Nice. Thank you, Prabhu.
what's your purpose in life? And they were asking people, who are you?
Okay.
Just two basic questions. Who are you and what's your purpose in life? And so many people could not answer, or they didn't know how to answer. And it's amazing because that is the basis of why things are happening in this world. People don't know who they are and what their purpose in life is.
Yeah.
And they just keep going through the cycle of samsara, right? They go through this birth, death cycle, and not knowing these simple things. And so, such a powerful person.
Yeah.
You know, just by understanding who we are and what our purpose is, so many answers can be resolved. So
Very true.
it just hurts.
Yeah,
Even the
very
kids
true.
at that age, right? Like they're,
Yeah.
being able to be trained up and to understand who they are and what their purpose in life is. It's
Yeah.
so vital.
I wish I'd had that as a child. It would have saved a lot of trouble.
Yeah, even I feel the same
Yeah.
because like many devotees say that you are still young,
And-
but still I feel like no, I wasted 20-21 years of my
Yeah, and
Right.
these kids can rattle off Sanskrit like it's their second language.
yeah.
It's
It's
amazing.
amazing. Yeah, even in our university, they started Bhagavad Gita as a subject. They gave a credit for that Bhagavad Gita
Really
course.
nice.
That's awesome. That's what Srila Prabhupada so desperately wanted. Is
Yeah.
he visited all these universities and where's your department for the soul?
Yeah. And you're like,
Yeah.
what? The what? Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you.
And Prabhupada, like, so anything, any paraphernalia of Krishna's, like this home of Krishna's, it's not different than Lord Balram,
Yeah.
right?
All
So
the-
any paraphernalia, the clothes that they wear, the bed that they sleep in, the jewelry, the home that they live in, like everything emanates from Lord Balram. So by maintaining this temple, by cleaning this temple, we're directly serving Lord Balram, right?
Okay.
Lord Nityananda, Baladev, right here, right?
Right.
So it's you can consider it almost as non-different
Okay.
and stuff. So it's
Nice.
yeah. Like, I have this habit, I've been told, like, when you enter the temple, the floor that we walk on is also Lord Balram, right?
Nice.
And stuff, so immediately come into the temple and pay
Lord
obeisances, right? And stuff, because you're taking permission to
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for that.
and stuff. So it's just obviously someone who's not fully or is still new to Krishna consciousness may not fully understand. But when we read more, and because we're studying and stuff like that, we can understand that everything emanates from
Yes. Yes. ma'am.
Nice.
Everything in this, like, as we all know, like Lord Balaram is the first expansion of Krishna,
Yes,
and
first
everything emanates, expands from
Okay.
Balaram. So,
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Grantara Shrimadbhagavatam ki
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.